Hey all, Hertz here. Today we're going to check out a new game, The Last Plague Blight. It just came out today. This is a very difficult crafting game where you have to build each piece that you're uh, of a building that you're trying to build. Um, it has some fairly difficult game mechanics, so let's get started. Um, we are going to we're going to set this to easier just because I want this to be more of a demonstration. If this is on the easier mode, you don't get attacked by the wildlife as much. Um, so let's start out with this. I will do a gameplay with it on the normal mode shortly. The premise of this game is that there is some apocalyptic plague that has happened and it has killed most of the people around you, and you've been thrown into a survival situation where you need to build shelter, you need to build materials, you need to do things like boil your water before you drink it, which we are going to have to do here shortly. Let's get a little survey of the area around us. Now over here you can see some of the plague areas. These will grow over time. So when you set up your base, you need to be an appreciable distance away. So here's a massive cloud of plague, and I bet you... I'm just going to turn on the map real quick. Yes, this is overlooking your hometown. So your hometown has been consumed by this plague. So, we're in the very bottom right-hand corner of the map. So I'm going to move to a position a bit further over here. We need to stay near water. Lakes in particular are nice. Um, so I'm going to try to set up camp probably in this area. So let's get moving. If you hold down the Alt key, you can see all the things that are on the ground. Um, and then if you just pick up an item, you just click the left mouse button while over it. Now I happen to know some of the first tasks that we're going to need to do, and those involve building a fire pit. Um, so I'm going to just go around and get the items required for that, which they're small stones. You need 10 small stones if you look in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm just going to be picking up stones the whole way. I'm also picking up this dog's bane. What this does is it creates like a lashing. So you'll need a bunch of these when you build your first base. Here's another thing that you often need. You need a couple of pieces of flint. Um, they break over time, but having a piece of flint helps you with creating fires. You use that as like kindling for your fire. Need both tinder and kindling. Um, like explain that correctly. Tinder is what you use to ignite an ember, and then kindling is you use the kindling to um, ignite the tinder, and then you have a small flame, and then you use that to ignite gradually larger and larger bits of wood. And then you have a, a base set of embers so that you can start a fire. Okay. So I got a lot of these, the dog bane. I'm gonna still, I'm grabbing more. And you need two or three pieces of flint at the beginning. You just, if you run out of flint, you're kind of in a bad spot. Okay, a couple of things that we're looking for. Let me just look at the map again real quick. We're getting close to this lake. Having clay nearby is really nice. There's a bit of clay right here on the bank. I'm gonna just get past this bit of blight. Having trees nearby is very nice. The reason why I know all this is because I played the demo of the game, and so having all these trees right here is really nice, and having flat ground is nice. So this area right here is where I'm going to set up camp. Um, Also, being on a little bit of a peninsula is helpful because uh, when there's wildlife that will come and attack your camp. When they come and attack, it's they can't come in through the water, so you're reducing the vector of where they can attack from. So I am just going to lay down my bedroll here. And we're going to just place it. Let's go right there. And then right next to it, I'm going to place our fire. So I'm going to hit build with. And this allows you, this puts you into the structures menu. There's an items menu and a structures menu. These are for building like tools and like handheld items. Like here's the plant rope, the lashings that we're going to make dog bane out of. So to craft those, you just hit rip up and it takes a few seconds for you to do that. If you hold in the shift key and click on it, you can create 5 at a time. And then since there are so many, you can speed up time and you'll see everything kind of zoom around you. You'll kick out of this speed up time thing if something like dangerous wildlife is nearby. So you're still kind of safe. You're not going to just like allow something to attack you. So let's go back to the structures menu. We're going to make this fire pit. And we're just going to make this, I know this may go against your instincts. We're going to make that as close as we can right to our bedroll. And then to build it, we have to hold down the left mouse button. So when you build something, you need at least one material to build the whole thing to start building it. If you have all the materials necessary, then you can hit the left mouse button again, and it will begin to build the item. All right, we're going to need to cut down a tree to begin creating our firewood that we're going to need for our fire. Now, you have things like hunger and thirst in the game. You can just drink water out of this river here, but it poisons you. So, just kind of like in real life, if you're in a survival situation, you need to boil your water so you don't get parasites and stuff like that. So now you'll see when that thing fell over, it was like Yahtzee and a whole bunch of various items popped out of it. Now I'm going to cut up this log, and then we're going to cut it one more time and make it into firewood. So here's a thick log. I'm going to pick that up. I'm just going to walk this over. Now to place it down, you press the left mouse button. You'll see that little placeable thing. I'll walk over, place it down. I'm going to run back using the shift key to run. And go and cut up more of this. What's going on? I'm going to cut up the rest of this tree. You'll notice I was having a problem getting to it. With all the pieces that are on the ground, they actually take up space and have collision with your character. So you're going to need to possibly move that stuff out of the way first. I'll show you a quicker way of picking things up here in a second. So I'm going to place that other log over here to get it ready for chopping. You'll also notice the character has like fairly poor pathing. He just like face plants into anything. Uh, so you'll have to deal with that. Um, and to start picking up these sticks, you need a bunch of sticks and long sticks. Um, and you'll notice it takes a minute for me to like hover over and go and pick up the stick. And so they added another feature in the game. So if you just hold the T button, the character will just go start picking up everything on the ground. If I hit T over there, he's going to pick up the mushrooms, but like if I hit T here, he's just going to go crazy and start picking everything up that he can hold in his inventory. And so, um, I would suggest using T for picking up large amounts of items. All right, so here we have these pine branches. Those are used for a few different things, but one of them is to get the tinder for creating a fire. So I'm going to do this thing right here, which is start stockpile. And we're going to just start heaping this stuff on the ground. So I'm going to do this right about there. So the key that I was using to adjust so now I can just walk over and hit the right mouse button and it will dump all the stuff that is in my inventory into that stockpile. Now I'm going to make a stockpile here for the long sticks. I'm going to right click, start stockpile. And if you see the markers on the ground, I'm holding the shift key and just rotating my my scroll wheel on my mouse. So I'm going to get these lined up so they're close next to each other. Now, I think this is a bug in the game. If you continue holding the shift button while trying to place a stockpile, it just won't do it. So you have to like move it, get it in position, and then let go of the shift key, and then place the stockpile. I think that's a bug. I can't be too sure. I'm just gonna start picking up the rest of this stuff. We need like just a ton of sticks and long sticks. So twigs can be used for kindling, and the pine branches can be broken up and used for tinder. I hope I got those two correct. And you'll be able to see that here in the fire pit. So you have kindling and tinder. I am just gonna real quick hit craft with, and you'll see it makes these two things, pine leaves, which are tinder, and then it makes sticks with that as well. So you can see that just made 6 pine leaves. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm just gonna start. I don't want to use that as fuel, but we can use the twigs here for kindling. And we're getting close to having 100% chance to ignite the fire. Now, if you don't have all these things, you can put some of them in, and you may or may not start the fire. So generally when I do it, I max those out so you're guaranteed to start a fire. And the idea is just have enough items around. You should be spending a lot of your time collecting all these little things, and like when you run out of sticks or you run out of the tinder or twigs or you know, any other things that can be used as kindling, you should quickly replenish those. So you see it just did the bug that I was just talking about a second ago, because I was still holding the shift key while we place this stockpile. So there's a stockpile of sticks. So there are a couple of different food items out here. You see these, they're mushrooms. Some of them are good, some of them will poison you. I think they all kind of poison you because they have a blight on them. If you see on the hover, the thing that's in red that says plus 0.01, that is blight. As you consume things that have blight, you start getting like a fairly decent debuff. So these just have a tiny little bit of it, but like it accumulates over time, so you gotta be careful about that. So I just ate all the blueberries I just found. Here's your hunger bar down here. There's your thirst bar. Um, we're going to have to work on those shortly. So the other thing that's food are these pine cones. You can go around and grab those. And it's not that you eat the pine cone, but if you right click on it and hit craft, you remove the pine nuts from there. And so you get these stacks of pine nuts. Those have no blight on them, but they increase your hunger, but they make you thirsty. So you're trading hunger for thirst. And then the empty pine cones that you're left with afterwards can be used as kindling. So those are very helpful. A lot of people just go through the game just only doing that. Oh, there's bad wildlife right there. There's a coyote. So we need to stay away from him. We don't have any weapons yet. I mean, we do have a weapon. So we have a hand axe, but that's like a weapon of last resort. There are other weapons that we'll get to in the game. Okay. Okay, I'm out of space. Now, when you have to, this is like the Diablo style inventory. You can sort it this way so it tries to make space at the bottom. Or you can sort it this way so it tries to make space at the side. So for these long sticks, since they're so long, we want this one. And I'm just going to grab a couple more of those. And then we'll just head back real quick. We've got to dump all this stuff off into our stockpiles. Install. Okay, I'm going to just create a stockpile over here for well, I'll do it for these first. The ropes are going to be very important for building. Like, building anything requires tons of rope. So our goal here is to get our camp up and running. That's nice and all. The goal immediately after that is to get our water taken care of. As you see, our thirst bar is going down. On the other side of this, I'm going to make a small stone stockpile and a large stone stockpile. Now you see in here we start off with a little bit of food. These are sausages. They reduce your thirst quite a lot, so you need to have your water up and running before you start really going into that. So that in mind, I don't want to start it just yet. I want our thirst to get a little bit lower before we do that. Uh, Reason being, this requires a lot of fuel, and that's kind of scarce at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to, let's see, start a stockpile with twigs. We're going to go over here. Okay, so this is a lot of the basic items that we can pick up at the beginning. So I'm just gonna like run around and hold the T button. The large stones are good for... I don't want to pick up the dandelion. We don't need that yet. But the large stones are good for creating flooring. We're still a ways off from that though. So I'm just trying to grab all the stuff I can carry that's on the ground. Just, redo the inventory so I can grab more of these long sticks. This, one of our next tasks are going to be to build a shelter, which is going to require a lot of long sticks and the dog's bane because we need to convert that into rope. Okay. And so I'm just kind of always trying to pick up the pine cones too, because we will need them as food. Okay, so we're in a pretty good spot here. I'm going to quickly chop up these thick logs into firewood and then throw them into the fire. As you can see by the quality of light, it's sunset now. So we got to start thinking about nighttime. You have to have a fire to sleep through the night, and you have to have 8 hours of fuel in it. So yeah, dumping items in here is it's nice because you can really quickly get them out of your inventory, but as you can see, you got to be able to path to the item. I don't know if you noticed, but when I tried to put these down, he ran into this stockpile and just stopped moving. So you need to kind of walk over in front of it and then right mouse button. So that's why I have these all kind of set up in a line, so when I want to dump stuff out of my inventory, I can just kind of walk the line, and I'll say left mouse button to examine, but right mouse button to get item out of inventory and put in the stockpile. So if it says right mouse button, then I'll click it, and it'll just dump it in there. So let's chop up these logs real quick. Get them in the fire. Starting to get a bit tired, so this is our sleep bar over here. The more things we do, the more it adds or detracts from our energy bar. Cut that apart. Okay, that's 11 hours of fuel. I'm just gonna... So that's 9. So what I'm going to do... is just then create a stockpile for firewood. Now you don't have to worry, this isn't like other games. It's not your fire isn't going to spread out of here. So, let's see, a couple other things that are going to be important. I'm going to hit craft with on that, and you can either break up a large stone into small stones, or you can make a stone bowl out of this. Which is what I'm going to do. Now, here's another mechanic. So I'm going to do craft with to make a stone bowl. I can use a small stone to like hammer out this bowl, or I can use pieces of flint to do it. I'm going to use the small stone, and that's because small stone is a lot more available. The flint is used for creating a fire. It can be used for a few different things, but creating a fire is one of them. So I just made a bowl there. And now I am going to come over here. The bowl is in my right hand, or my main hand. So if you hit left mouse button, he'll go over, fill up the bowl with water. And now I can put it inside of the fire. And I'm gonna just real quick take those out. Go back to the fire and remove this as kindling and add a couple of these empty pine cones. And now I have a full thing of kindling. So I'm just gonna hit the ignite button here. And that's like the fast time. Now I have to go in here. It doesn't do this automatically. You have to hit the boil button, and now it'll begin boiling the water. Like, you have to remember it doesn't do that automatically. I have sat and had things sit on that fire for a long time that I wanted to be boiling, and did not realize that button was not pressed. And then you just feel like an idiot. Oh, this is very nice. We have clay right here. We'll get to clay shortly. Now we're just still picking up roughly everything we can by holding the T button. Notice I'm not picking up any... So this is all like wildlife... Or, like wild mushrooms. These are dandelions, different plants and stuff like that. I am not picking those up yet. We're gonna need those, but we'll need those later. So, like, if you pick it up, it picks the fruit of the flower, and you cannot pick it up again for a while. So, okay, I'm just running around there picking up everything I possibly can. Now I'm gonna run down this line and just like right mouse button. And you see it makes it like very easy to just drop off all your goodies you just found. Okay, now let's go check on our water. And I just right click on this, hit drink all. and then put it back in my main hand. Oh, that did not put it in my main hand. I put it in my inventory. So hit left mouse button, fill up your bowl. And come back and put that in the fire again and hit the boil button. Trust me, you'll kick yourself that day that you forget to do that. Just gonna get more nuts here. I'm gonna eat a bunch of these, and you'll see hunger bars going up, thirst bars going down. I'm going to craft all that. That's a poisonous mushroom. I'm just tossing that. I didn't mean to pick that up. These are also poisonous. They're useful later in the game, but they're not going to be useful for a long time. I just heard that stop sizzling, and I drank all again. And that's gonna put this very close. I'm just gonna fill this up again and get it to boil off the water, or boil the water. And next to the twigs over here, I'm just gonna create another stockpile for these pine cones. They start to accumulate in your inventory. But they do the exact same thing as twigs do. They're almost identical to twigs. Oh, it did the bug again because it didn't put the stockpile down because I had the shift key held while I was placing it. So there. And I'm just running, grabbing more sticks and dogsbane. So these are all very important. Just holding down the T button here because there are so many things I can just grab a bunch. Let's kind of reorient our inventory so I can get those long sticks again. So there's a deer there. We'll hunt in a bit. We're not in a position to hunt yet. Here we have more dogsbane. I'm gonna just craft this real quick. Okay. Now you'll notice it's getting darker and darker out. I'm gonna eat another one of those. Okay, my food is almost maxed. I'm gonna drink all of this. And it doesn't matter that there's some left. I'm just gonna refill this so we'll have a full bowl. for water when we are done, or when we wake up. You need 8 hours of fuel in the fire to sleep. So I'm just gonna grab... Twigs are usually very plentiful. So I'm just gonna grab some of those. They don't add a lot of time to the fire, but I'm just gonna hit that, add the fuel to the fire, and then I'm gonna come and sleep.